Hello students, this is class 6th PCRN's Grammar Lesson 7 Auxiliary and Modal Verbs, and this is our Lecture 1 for this lesson. Points to be covered in today's class. First of all, auxiliary verbs, its meaning and uses will be done. Then modal verbs, its meaning and uses. Then at last, homework will be assigned. First of all, we are doing auxiliary verbs. I'm going to explain you the meaning of auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs, or in simple way if we call it auxiliaries, these are helping verbs used with other verbs to form tenses, passive voice, questions or negatives, etc. Also, auxiliaries are used to express meanings like ability, permission, possibility and necessity. List of auxiliaries. B. Is, am, are three helping verbs which are forms of be form of verb. Have, has, have, had, these are helping verbs and these are the forms of have. Similarly, do, does, did, these are the forms of do. Can, could, may, might, will, would, shall, should, must, ought to. Need and dare are sometimes used as auxiliaries. Though we know that need and dare, need means when we need something, avashyakta, dare means sahas. So these are the main verbs also, and sometimes need and dare are used as helping verbs or auxiliaries also. Now, usage. Auxiliaries come before the subject in questions and can be put before note. You might have seen that when we frame questions, we bring the helping verb just before subject, and in negative sentences, the auxiliaries are placed before note. For examples, she is busy. This is a positive sentence or assertive sentence, we can say. Simple sentence this is. If we frame its interrogative sentence, we will bring the helping verb is just before subject, that is she. So, in order to frame its interrogative sentence, we will write is she busy, and in order to frame its negative sentence, we will add note just after the helping verb. So it will be written like this: she is not busy. Next example, he has arrived. Here you can see has is our auxiliary or helping verb, and he has arrived, this is our assertive sentence or simple sentence. If we talk about its interrogative sentence, we will do as we do every time. Its helping verb will be brought just before subject, that is he. So its interrogative sentence will be has he arrived, and its negative sentence will be he has not arrived, as we will add not just after the helping verb, and helping verb is has. Now Third example, he can drive. Here can is our auxiliary. Its interrogative will be can he drive, and negative will be he cannot drive. He should go. Its interrogative should he go. Its negative he should not go. Now its next use is the auxiliaries be means is, am, are, and have means has, have, had are used with ordinary verbs to form tenses. You might have seen that in tenses we use is, am, are, or has, have, had. Means with ordinary verbs these auxiliaries are used to form tenses. But we don't use can, could, may, might, shall, should, will we use, shall also we use, but should and would we don't use. So forms of be and have are always used with ordinary verbs, or we can say with main verbs. For example, he is dancing. This is present continuous tense as we know, and dancing is our main verb, or we can say ordinary verb. The form of be is here is. So is has been used with ordinary verb dancing. They have videoed the program. So here videoed is our ordinary verb or main verb, and with that we have used have, or a form of have which is given here with videoed. So in ordinary verbs, with ordinary verbs we can use the forms of be and have. The auxiliary be is also used to make passive forms. You might have done active and passive voice in grade 5th. Still I would like to give you an example. For example, if I say the farmer grows crops, the crops are grown by the farmer, where the doer of an action becomes passive, that is passive voice. So in passive voice auxiliary be is used, means is, am, are used in passive forms. For example, cheese is made from milk. The program was videoed. Number 4 use of auxiliaries is that the auxiliary do means do, did, does is used to form questions and negatives in the simple present and simple past tense. For examples, she acts on TV means when there is third person singular as subject, we use s or es with verb that we know already, and in order to frame its interrogative or negative sentence we use does. Does she act on TV? She does not act on TV. Here you can see in the first sentence there was s or es. We used s or es, but in the second sentence and in third sentence where there is already s or es with do form of the verb, we are not using s or es with act form of the verb. So s or es is used only once in the sentence, and here we have used it with do form of the verb. So does she act on TV? She does not act on TV. Next example is India won. This is assertive sentence, or we can say positive sentence. But you can see one more thing over here is that second form of the verb is given. It means this is past simple tense, simple past tense. In order to frame its negative sentence, we'll add, or interrogative sentence will add did. Did India win? So you might have seen that second form of do is did. As we know, second form of do is did and third form is done. So here we are using second form of the verb, that is did, because this is past, simple past tense. And if we have used second form of the verb once in the sentence, we are not going to use it again. So here it will be did India win? India did not win. So in that case, first form of the verb, of the main verb will be there, that is win, win, not won, because did has already been used. Now, as I introduced the chapter name, that was auxiliaries and modal verbs. So this is our second part, that is modal verbs. We often use modal verbs to talk about ability, permission, necessity, etc. Each modal verb has more than one use. I repeat, we often use modal verbs to talk about ability, permission, necessity, etc. Each modal verb has more than one use. For example, cheese is made from milk. The program was videoed. Now, first of all is can. We use can for ability. For example, he can speak 5 languages. So this is his ability, that he can speak 5 languages. For that we have used can. I can solve all the sums of chapter 1. This is my ability, that I can solve all the sums of chapter 1. So that therefore I have used can over here. Number 2 is permission. For seeking and granting permission, or we can say for giving and taking permission in informal manner. It means when we give and take permission from our friends or to our friends, there we use can. For example, can I use your phone? You can go now. So when we talk with our friends or the people who are not elder to us, there we use can. Means for the people who are the children who are younger to us, there we use can. Next is request. Can I have a glass of water please? Can you get me a ticket? So the request, when it is made in informal manner or to the people who are younger to us, there we use can. Next use of can is offer. When we offer something to someone, there we use can. For examples, can I help you? Can I help you carry the bags? So when we are offering our help to somebody or something to somebody, there we use can. Could. Where do we use could? Past ability. Can is used for present ability and could is for past ability. For example, I could swim when I was 7. Here I am talking about the time when I was 7 years old, I could swim. So this is my past ability. My little cousin could eat 4 chapatis at a time in his childhood. Now I am talking about the childhood of my little cousin. So here I am talking about the past and the ability of past, that what could I do when I was 7, or how could my little cousin, or how many chapatis my little cousin could eat. Number 2 use of could is request. For example, could you get me a ticket? Could you please give me that notebook? For making request we use could. May. Where do we use may? Its first use is permission. The same use was there in can also, but there we seek and grant permission in informal manner, means from the people or to the people who are younger to us. But here may is used to seek and grant permission in formal manner, means when we are granting permission or informal, like if the teacher grants permission to her students, then she will use may. And like you also seek permission from your teachers using may, like may I come in ma'am, may I drink water, in this way. For examples, you may use my computer. If a teacher says to the student, then she will say you may use my computer. May I come in? The very famous example, the very famous sentence that you always use, may I come in. So this is the only reason we use may while seeking permission from our teachers. The second use of may is that possibility. For example, he may come today. There is possibility when we are not sure that the particular action will take place. I may call my friend tomorrow, because future is uncertain, so we don't know whether it will happen or not. So here it is, may is used for possibility. Might. The use of might is that past of may. For example, I thought that he might have completed his work. Will. As we know that will and shall are used in future tense, and here the rules will remain same. For example, first uses future action. For examples, perhaps it will rain tonight. He will come at my house. Its next use is request. Will is also used to make requests. For example, will you give me lift? Next is would. Would is past form of will. Its use to make offer. For example, would you like a cup of coffee? Next, for request. For example, would you lend me your camera? Next is shall. Shall is also used in future tense. First uses future action. For example, I shall see him tomorrow. Shall. Next uses offer. For example, shall I carry the bag for you? And most of the times your teacher might be using this sentence in the class, shall I rub the board? So here your teacher asks question from you, there also we use shall. Suggestion. For example, shall we go to the beach? Next is should. We can say, as we say that would is past of will, then we cannot say that should is past of shall. There are some different uses of should. For example, necessity. You should apply for the job. Must. Our next model is must. We use must for necessity For example, I must get up at 5 tomorrow. Next use of must is certainty. For example, she must be at home now. Ought. It is used for necessity. For example, you ought to obey your parents. Now, it's time to assign you homework. Fill in the blanks with the correct auxiliary or modal verb given in the brackets. Number 1. I dash take a phone call. You need to fill in the blank between two words must or can which are given in the bracket. Number 2. Dash you close the window please. Will or are. Dash I go out. Am or can. She dash arrive tomorrow. May or could. Dash I get a taxi for you. Shall or have. Thank you. I hope you are doing your homework on regular basis and checking it too from the homework solution that is being uploaded every day.